back to your point of what load management is, you play basketball 2.5 hours a day, 3 hours a day, right? That's your job. That's what you get paid to do as an NBA player. What are you doing the other 21 hours? I mean, to me, that's when you should be preparing for your next day of work or your next, challenge. Now, I'm the worst. Maybe I'm not one of the guys that you would probably model that, or
I was going to say, did you do that every time?
But you should think about that in retrospect of what load management really is. I always felt like one is a sense of pride for the fans that are paying.
Right.
Two is a sense of making sure that I stay sharp. I'm not going to lose it. And three, I want our rhythm as a team to always be there. It can disrupt that synergy that's happening.
This is the NBA on NBC. Tonight, it's Doc G Sports Direct.
What's up, everybody? This is me, Doc G, coming at you with Sports Direct. Good to see everybody here. Good to be here. Yes, we got to talk about the MLB, how the Dodgers closed it out in Hollywood, historic fashion, in a movie called Back to Back. Then we're going to talk about the NBA, how it's beginning to cook up. Yeah, I put it on the side. I let it simmer for a couple of weeks because we got something cooking. LA is cooking up some hot stuff without the main ingredients. And on the West, the Knicks beginning to cool off. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about it. And the Los Angeles Dodgers at your 2025 World Series champs taking down the Toronto Blue Jays in a 7 heart-pounding games. Game 7, killer, went the distance into extra innings. At that point, it was anybody's game, anyone's game. But with the 11th, stepped up with the golden bat and rips. Crowd goes crazy. Now confetti's everywhere. LA's on top of the baseball world. Congrats to them. But shout out to Ohtani doing the damage with the bat all series long. And that bullpen. Lights were out. The Dodgers showed experience, wins, the championships, hand down, was my choice from the beginning. All right. Let's give mad love to my New York Mets, all right, to Juan Soto and Pete Alonso, both taking home the Silver Slugger Awards. Shout out to you. Soto's been surgical at the plate, smooth, patient, deadly, and Alonso, of course, the polar bear. Just keep cruising baseballs. Mets might not have made the World Series, but they're making some noise after. But still, Queen still got that, they got some hot, explosiveness happening in there. So now we're flipping over to the hardwood. Let's go to the West first, right? Because we're in the East. In the West, the conference is cooking up. Pressure's cooking. After 8 to 10 games, no surprise. OKC, top of the list, all right? Still got that squad. Shade and the whole crew is rolling along. Along two, are in third place. Nuggets are in fourth so far. Sneaking up with Wemby, looking like an all-star already, and an alien in human form. But the shocking news of the season is the Lakers sitting up in second place. I know it's still early, but this is crazy. They're doing without LeBron. And for half the time, Luka is not there. Austin Reeves, AR-15, is putting in the work, not to mention Rui and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, they've been quiet before, but right now, there was no Luka, no problem. The Lakers team is scrappy, focused, and playing with confidence. And we haven't seen this in years. But looking good. Let's see what happens. Let's see how far it goes. Let's see if they can continue this momentum. And the big question is, what happens when LeBron comes in? Because when he comes in, it may be a problem. As we've seen before, from my past, right? Looking at the Knicks back in 2011, 2012, when it was Linsanity, Carmelo Anthony was injured, Linsanity was born. Knicks were winning. They were on a roll. But what happened? Carmelo came back. Things slowed down. It went back to things as usual. The Knicks began losing, and Linsanity cooled off. And there was tension in the locker room. Eventually, Lin got traded off and his career died down. We cannot do this to AR-15. He was averaging 35 points a game so far, putting up MJ numbers. Incredible. Assists at 11. Luka also averaging 30-plus points. Together, they're averaging 75 points, like 14 to 15 assists, with like 9 rebounds. This is crazy. With those two in the backcourt, Lakers are deadly. And they got to keep that momentum. Rui is stepping up. Not to mention the center in the big middle is holding it down. Right? They're able to utilize the whole team. We haven't even talked about LeBron, and he hasn't been in. And in a couple of weeks, he will be in. They said around mid-November. That's coming out very close. But what's going to happen? We don't know. Last time, in the same situation, we had problems. We had problems with, the chemistry. We had a problem with who's doing what. We got 3 people bringing up the ball. And LeBron, who is, in my consideration, either, the top 6, top 5, whatever, it's tough to say, no, go to the bench, or no, you're not hiding the rock. It's going to be tough. So that's going to mess up the whole rotation. If J.J. Redick can somehow put this concoction together and make a good winning team, we'll see what happens. But right now, management is looking like they made the right decision in not extending LeBron's contract because they got a good team so far. Right, and when you add LeBron in, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. LeBron could probably make some changes. He could probably, do something else, but he's not a spot up and shoot guy. He's a player that has to control the rock. He's never fit in a system, in an offense where he's not the main central point. He said it before. He is the system. What's the game plan? Give it to LeBron. Let his IQ work. For the most part, he got 4 chips. So you can't really knock it down. But for me, all right, as a former player, that doesn't work all the time. And especially now with everybody. And we saw with AD, it didn't work. He got lucky with the bubble championship in which AD stood up, all right, and brought him to the end of the championship. But it hasn't worked since then. And they haven't gotten out of the first round, right, in a long time. So let's see what happens the next couple of weeks. Let's see if J.J. Redick could somehow put this team together. And let's see if the Lakers can continue this awesome win streak. All right, let's go to the East. All right. So let's talk about the East, right? Because things are a little bit upside down over there. Every team people counted on, the ones that were supposed to be showing up, are not. Let's talk about Detroit. Yeah, the Pistons. They're looking like the bad boys of old. I'm talking about first place, leading the East with the gritty physical play. Chicago, right behind them, right? Surprising everybody with the blend of youth and veteran toughness. All right, Giddey's doing his thing. Then you have Cleveland, Milwaukee, sounding like the 90s, like 1990, 89, right? Both reviving those championship vibes. Because people say Giannis was done, that team was done. No, they're not. Because the Bucks are in 4th place and they're cooking so far. And guess what? They're back in the mix. Hungry and aggressive. Looking to remind me of the East and who's the boss. But we got to talk about the New York Knicks, right? This is a sad one because, they came out the gate hot, burning. But right now, with 2 straight wins, and now, boom, they lost 3. Madison Square Garden was rocking again. But listen, those nosebleed seats are $100 a pop. So if you're paying that, the Knicks better keep winning. And they're not, right? They lost 3 straight. Luckily, a couple of games in, I was waiting because it was a little bit sad. I didn't want to talk about it. But they won 3 more. Now they're 5-3. And let's see if they can cook up some more wins, because right now it's not looking good. They're at the middle of the stack, and they should be doing better. They should be. They should keep up. I know they probably slipped up. Not sure what happened with them. I'm gonna look into it further and to see what exactly where was messing them up. And because their team should be up at least in the top 3. At least in the top 3, second place most definitely. They could beat all the teams up there. They can beat the Bucks. They can beat Cleveland. They can beat Detroit. They can beat them. They should be right up there. All right. So let's see if they need to climb back up top in the 2 conversions, or are fans going to stop calling it and things going to change fast for the Knicks, because right now, not looking good. We expect more. New York City expects the Knicks to be on top. They weren't on top last year. And the team that beat them is nowhere in sight. There is no reason for them to not be on top of that list. So they got to go back to the game plan, see what works, and push it out. Because right now, Mike Brown is not looking good. Hey, what's up? Just to close it out, just want to say what's up to those 53 subscribers. Thank you. Let's get it up to 100. All right, let's do that 100 subscriber. If you do, leave a comment, share, subscribe. When I say leave a comment, all right, let me know something. Who is your team for the NBA? Were you rooting for the Dodgers? Were you rooting for the Toronto Blue Jays? Who is your MLB team? Let me know what is the realness, what is the deal. All right, leave a comment because when I reach the 100 subscriber, I'm going to choose one person from there. I'm going to bring out your quote and we'll get something special. All right, we'll get to that point when we cross that bridge. All right, as soon as we get closer, I'll let you guys know. But let's get to 100, that 100 for now. All right, and just to close it out, there you have it. Dodgers on top. Mets, making their noise. Lakers shocking the West. The East being shocked by Detroit. Things are all upside down all over the place, and I'm happy about it because it makes everything more interesting. More to talk about, more to deliberate with my crowd, with my audience, with my team. All right. But make sure you drop, follow, and share. And let me take those comments. Don't be afraid. Don't be too shy. And can the Lakers continue their deep roll into the season? And can the Knicks turn it around and go back up top in the East? We'll find out in Doc G Sports Direct. I'll check you out. Much love and respect to you. Blessings.